That's the magic of NDAs, man. They got you.
Can't have the stream up today. So if someone wouldn't mind monitoring the chat. Oh, can I split screen this?
And we're live. I can pull up the chat. Don't worry about that.
Okay, good. Hello, we are Pixel Pints. I'm back. Mitch is. Frankly, the last 2 episodes are shocking. Absolutely shocking. So thank God I'm back. Yes, we are the only global podcast that talks about 2 things that we enjoy, which is good beer and video games. We're not here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly. Please play games responsibly. And please podcast responsibly, which many people didn't do the last 2 weeks on this show. I blame the guests getting out of control.
Thank you. You need to put the blame on me. I tried.
And no one asking the host whether or not they were okay. Everyone's just a selfish git. But I did like the element of distraction where Mitch poured water all over himself and tried to turn it into some kind of wet t-shirts /
contest against
not hot tub episode.
I mean, I'm getting into shape, so like eventually I could take this t-shirt off and look better than Evan, but that's hard.
Well, you'd need to grow your face out a bit more as well. We've got a lot to get through today, so we'll just skip round. Mikey, welcome back. How's things in Pennsylvania?
The balance is in my favor. My son is doing great. All that stuff is going wonderfully. But I got a malady usually reserved for someone 20 years older than myself. So, which has been unfun.
Arthritis.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Just the base.
Right. So, Mitch, how are things in La?
La is amazing. I can't really say very much. I got a special interview for a very special job that I'm very, very excited for. I was shocked to get it when I got it on Friday. So I will actually...
That's right. Mitch is going to work for the best video game studio in the world, Bethesda Studios.
Which, isn't that hilarious enough, Erebus Jones was on the show and he didn't correct me.
No, he didn't. It's terrible.
So
show everybody.
So I am A-okay with not being penalized for that, because the man himself that put the consequence, the curse on me, did not want to punish me for it. So
the Bethesda curse.
The Bethesda curse. They make great video games. But no, I have an interview on Friday that you guys all know what it is, but I'm super pumped for it. So hopefully,
fingers crossed,
and then I can tell you what I'm actually going to be doing, and then I will have to shut my mouth about a lot of things. But I'm okay shutting my mouth about those things. So
yeah, because it will be worthwhile in the end.
In the end, it'll be worthwhile. But Keith, I will have to say, you got to admit, last week's episode was a great episode. Like, we went through a lot in that episode. That must have been a good listen.
There wasn't much you got wholly wrong. There was some. So I did make some notes on last week's episode, which I'd just like to quickly run through before we get into announcing our picks for the Pixel Pints Fantasy Gaming Draft. Where it's not just as simple as picking games, because it's me and I can't just do things simply. So you guys spoke for quite a long time about the unionisation issue. So the people at King and which other studio they were looking to form unions. Raven. Frankly, if they form a union or not is irrelevant, because you'll still have to work with them even if they're unionised or not. And the way that you can deal with working with the union, and in fact all your members of staff, is if you treat your people well, you've got no issues. So whether they're unionised or not, if you work with people in a professional manner, amazingly, you shouldn't have any issues with dealing with them as a union or your other members of staff as unionized staff members. And okay, there was reports that Microsoft had one recent case, and by recent I mean the last 5 years, of someone being accused of sexual harassment, and that person was dismissed from their role. So it's not like what was going on at ActiBliz. I wanted to labour the point that Bobby won capitalism. Well done, Bobby. You utter bag of shite. The one thing that you didn't get into that much was him trying to hawk the company to Facebook, Meta, prior to accepting Microsoft's proposal.
Yeah,
so that he approached Meta and said, "Do you want to buy my company that I've run as a toxic bastard for so many years?"
Basically, save me so I can get my golden parachute, because I don't want to just leave.
Yeah, it's not just that. So he will profit from being CEO. He will profit from the sale. He will probably have something in his contract, like Matt and Shane were talking about on GameFace, to say that if you sell the company, you will get a proportionate payout. But he's also a major shareholder in the company as well.
So he gets double.
So he will get the share bump from Microsoft announcing the sale, and then whether or not he retains those shares once they become Microsoft shares as well. So he's already he's not just going to profit from the sale, he's also got his inflation in his share value.
Welcome to capitalism.
Yes, well done.
We all love it.
Mitch, I'm a bit surprised with you. For two reasons. One, you forgot about the curse, so shame on you. Two, I expected you to twist the knife a little bit about this is further evidence that Microsoft first-party content is garbage and they just have to buy people up to produce games for them.
Oh, I'm saving that argument for another day, because this was a crew that I knew was going to riot on me very quickly as host if I pushed back too hard on that knife stabbing. When I'm not hosting, I can really twist the knife, but when I'm the host, I can't do that. Keith, you know that. You can't do that as host.
Well, I can, if it's Bobby Kotick's back. Metaphorical. Unlike him, I didn't actually just threaten him with violence.
Cool question for the rules. You are referring to, when you say a AAA game, like a low-scoring AAA game, you mean even if Ubisoft publishes it, you want it from one of their AAA studios, not just
Ubisoft,
not just a game that has Ubisoft on it. Yeah. Okay. You want it from one of the big studios. Okay. Thank you.
So yes, Mikey is doing his draft on the fly because he has children and work and other things, whereas the rest of the people who've done picked, I'm assuming, have no friends or social lives, and the only thing they do is care about video games.
No, we care about winning. That's what we care about.
Mitch, you said at one point, and I would like you to retract this statement, that you thought Google would have been a good purchaser of Activision Blizzard.
I used my power of compulsion to compel you to change that. Say it, Keith.
To not retract it.
No, that you agree with
yes,
me.
Google would have been a great purchaser of Activision Blizzard, and they wouldn't have run it into the ground and then just foreclosed on loads of different studios and buried them out the back as if they were a giant EA clone.
That's right. It would have been the resurrection of Stadia, and Stadia would actually be a platform people would care about because you have to play Call of Duty on Stadia.
Awful. One thing about Call of Duty, which I think a couple of people are missing the point about how that actually makes a lot of cash. So particularly Warzone. So Warzone grossed $1.92 billion last year.
Billion.
But a lot of that isn't just coming from microtransactions within the game. Because if you really want to be competitive at that, you have to buy the... Okay,
Battle Pass.
I need to check myself.
That's a microtransaction.
So all of that money is coming from the Battle Pass and microtransactions and purchases within the game. However, if you really want to be competitive, you have to be able to buy the annual entries to be able to level up your weapons to be competitive in the battle royale. So if Microsoft pull the Call of Duty regular or annual releases from PlayStation, all of that player base on Warzone is going to get massively impacted, more so than people have actually cottoned onto. But that's just my take. What else have I got on my list?
It's a pretty long list so far.
The other thing was about the state of California lawsuit. Can it still go ahead? Yes, it can.
Oh yeah, of course it can.
It can go ahead until such time as they get subsumed into Microsoft, and then they'll have to drop the lawsuit because the lawsuit is against the company that no longer exists. But until that time,
I feel like as if it's similar to. I feel like the law would be similar to. What do you call it? It's with the, Jesus Christ, sorry. Like when someone gets like sexually had sexual misconduct against them or got raped, and then what happened was like there's a time period of which
yeah, I know what you mean.
And so I'm saying
there was a film about it with, oh god, I forgot the name.
But there's basically I'm just saying is there's a time period of like you can report that, and even if they don't like. Even if it doesn't happen, like even the person is doing something else, they still can be liable. I feel as if like, even if the company is absorbed by another company, it happened at that time, therefore, and they were investigating it. Therefore, even if a company gets bought out, like I don't see that as an excuse to say, oh, well, we bought them, so you can't do it anymore.
It gives an excuse to the people who you were technically suing are no longer in charge of the company, or would no longer be in charge of the company. So it makes litigation more complicated. Yeah. So it makes payouts likely to get harder to get. But I think Microsoft will look to settle.
Well, I was going to say I'd have to look again at the specific lawsuit because I think it was aimed at a specific studio, a specific location, which is a big difference. Like it's not like overall Activision Blizzard, all their subsidiaries. It was specifically looking at the specific studio in Los Angeles or in California, and so like that location still exists and will still exist. Therefore, they can still look into it.
Yeah, I'm not clued up enough on.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but I feel like that's what it would be because it would be way too easy to get away with it.
Yeah, well, would it be getting away with it because they could still continue the suit, but I don't know. So the thing that you didn't discuss as much as I thought you were going to do is what Sony's current thinking might be. And this isn't Sony PlayStation. This is Sony corporate. So, and they're two different entities because they do treat they quite distinctly each of their different arms of the Sony corporation. So you've probably got a group of people sitting there thinking, looking at the sales numbers. So we're outselling them 2-1, yes, but they've just bought out the game that we sell most copies of every year. Yeah, but we're outselling them 2-1. Yes, I don't think you understand that they've just tried to cut our legs out from under us, but we're winning. And I don't know if that's going to be a mentality that continues. I don't think it will be from PlayStation. I just don't know if it will be from Sony corporate.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're kind of already in the mentality of purchasing, and they're like, okay, well, we need to ramp up our content too, because like if Microsoft keeps buying like they were buying, we need to compete with that in some way. So let's buy more studios to create more subsidiaries. But I don't think they've
got the cash to buy more. So
yeah,
they bought
right.
Blue Point and oh Christ, who else?
Fire Sprite or whatever you call it.
Yeah, and then they haven't got enough. They haven't got enough money to do it.
Well, I think
people are talking about, they're going to buy Capcom. Like,
no,
are you kidding me?
God, no, they can't afford that. I think it's more of and I think we talked about kind of in the discussion, which was that Sony's going for like a boutique style. Like you can even tell with going with the VR, VR2, it's going to be expensive, but like they're saying, oh yeah, but you get like these amazing experiences you can't get. It's like a Birkin bag. You can't get a Birkin bag at a Kohl's. You can get something that looks close like a Birkin bag, but it's not the Birkin bag, right?
You just named two things that I don't know what they are. I know Kohl's is a supermarket chain in Australia.
Sorry. Okay. Kohl's.
I know the second.
Kohl's is Kohl's is a high, like a mid high end store that tries to be high end, but it's for your basic consumer that you can afford clothes and accessories and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And Birkin is a really expensive bag company that is like one of the top echelons. Bags there cost hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars, and people love having them. But like it's like a boutique item. It's like you can.
So it's like owning Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So I think Sony's going the Louis Vuitton method because they can't buy so many and open a store where they're like, oh, look at all these other
going to the Las Vegas all you can eat buffet.
Just for my reference, would a Birkin bag be higher tier or lower tier than like a Gucci bag?
I think they're the same in regards to like high quality tier.
Same echelon of stuff.
Should we talk about handbags for a bit? So if you're going into thinking about buying a handbag, I know Longchamp would be a good one. I like the little racehorse on the bag.
Yeah. So basically, I'm basically saying is Sony's saying, yeah, you can get all those experiences on Xbox. You can like play your Call of Duty. You can play like a bunch of these titles for Game Pass. But if you want like a really good experience, we got a platform that has the games that have people talking every single time we have a title come out. We got Horizon. We got the
basically every game that we will put out from our first party is likely to be nominated for Game of the Year.
Yep. Compared,
and then there's
these guys that are trying maybe, and they're like B tier titles, trying to make A tier titles. Yeah. Well, we played Halo.
Yeah.
And that was a B tier title trying to be an A tier title.
And then the last thing I was going to say is now we know what's going to happen with Game Pass.
Oh God, they're going to try to put it on Sony's platform.
No, technically you could play it as long as you can access a browser from your PS5 or your PS4. You can get Game Pass. So I don't think that's.
But you mean Game Pass, the streaming variant, not the download variant?
Not the download variant, yeah.
Which, depending on your internet, it could go really bad for you.
Yeah, and if I was Sony, I would never agree to that, and that would just be monumentally stupid.
Right, agreed.
And how would you even monetize that? So what kind of proportion of money would you give me to allow you on my service?
I would want is I want them to pay me so much money to put it on PlayStation that I could buy another studio. Yep, exactly. I could buy like Square Enix and just say, F you, I'm going to spend your money on some other people.
Yeah, because it would have to be something that was charged directly through the Sony store, or it would almost have to be like a Spotify thing of like, they get paid per the amount of time or the amount of games that people play through their console. Something like that.
You need a subscription, so it's probably the first one. They need a subscription.
But the majority of Sony console owners wouldn't do it anyway, so I don't even know why this is being prompted as so much of a discussion.
I would do it. If I could go play Psychonauts 2 on my PS5 right now instead of my Ryzen
you can.
AMD RX 580.
Well, you can.
I mean,
because it is available for PlayStation.
Correct. It is. But what I mean is that because I have Game Pass.
I'm just messing with you. I get you.
Yeah. But like the Spotify model is because like I pay a subscription to Spotify or whatever, but the different artists, they get paid a certain amount. Like I know people say, "Oh, it sucks. Oh, it's great." Like I'm not getting into that part, but amount of times the song is played or at least started to be played or whatever does contribute to how much the artist gets paid or whatever. But again, I think it's a moot point discussing the mechanics of it because at this point Sony I don't think would ever agree to it.
Right, that's enough about last week. And we're never talking about the Activision purchase by Microsoft probably until next week.
Until it comes through.
Yeah.
Or if there's a big skepticism about having it go through, because now
the only thing that would stop it would be antitrust, which there isn't any grounds to say that there's been collusion or it's definitely not a monopoly. So that argument doesn't count.
Well, the only reason why I'm saying that is because the president of the United States just came out very, very recently talking about consolidation and how it has been widely gone unregulated, and that he will use all his power to stop and break up many of these companies because they are just too big in consolidation.
Well, if you'd like to start with the internet service providers, that's probably a better place to start than Microsoft.
He's starting with the meat packers, but that's a place to start.
Well, talk about people who are heavily unionized.
No, I'll send you a podcast to listen to. It's a very interesting story to hear about how the meatpacking industry is completely destroyed. The market for the farmers, like farmers are going out of business because the meat packers are basically paying less than what it just to break even, because they can't sell their meat anywhere else because the big packers bought out all the grocery stores and they have no market.
Well, yeah, it's exactly the same thing with big supermarkets in this country and the dairy industry.
Yeah.
So yeah, crack on. But
there's not quite as bad here, but it's still pretty bad. That's why in Pennsylvania, there's actually I don't know if it's for you guys, but there is a state mandated milk price. And the only way you can charge anything different is if you're selling it from the dairy where it was made.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I grew up as a sub-Canadian, because Pineview Dairy near my house, they sold milk in bags, half-gallon bags. And so all these people like saying weird things about Canada, and I'm like, that was my life growing up in South Central Pennsylvania.
Right, should we do beers quickly?
Sure.
I'm probably the only one with one.
Yes, because it's way, way too early for a beer. Well, what are you drinking there, Mike?
What I am drinking of is my poor man's Rattler. I take a Yingling Lord Chesterfield ale. I pour a little bit out, and I add lemon juice.
Oh. Well, why don't you just pour it in a glass and then add the lemon juice so you don't waste the alcohol?
Oh, no. Sorry. I'll
pour a little bit out into my mouth.
Exact.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no, I have all the equipment here. All right.
A presentation by Mike
First, I take my Apothecary's Alembic. And then...
Is this potions class, everybody? Harry Potter's potions class.
So this is not a fresh beer, so it's not... Well, I can do it with a fresh beer.
Too bad Liam's not on the show. He would get a riff out of this because he's so looking forward to the Harry Potter game.
I pour just a little over 10 milliliters of lemon juice. Then you take the beer. Open up the beer. When the beer is foaming, you pour the beer in the Apothecary's Alembic. Now, this is the same kind of principle if you were trying to, put cornstarch into solution to make like a gravy. You pour it into a little bit of your base liquid to mix it around so that it has, and then you very carefully pour it back into the beer so that you do not disturb much of the effervescence and it maintains its sparkle acidity.
Why don't you just pour it inside the beer can? Oh, because it would overfill. I see. And then swish it around, but... yeah.
Correct. And
stupid question.
This way you don't have like the kind of coffee cream effect where like you pour cream in and you can see that it hasn't fully mixed, and you don't want to stir or shake a beer.
That's true.
You want to find a way to disperse the lemon juice as nicely as possible. Then you enjoy.
Cheers. I am drinking.
And it makes it can turn any basic beer into kind of a super poor man's like IPA, because they're like, oh, citrus notes and floral, blah, blah. Like, it's just lemon juice in my ale, and it's good. It's refreshing.
Well, I am drinking Lagunitas Indian Pale Ale.
Oh, I know and like.
And I saw this, and I especially like it because of the little dog on the cap.
Aww. Dalmatian.
Because we like dogs on this show, not cats.
And we don't like killing them.
No, we regret it.
We regret it every time in video games. We regret killing dogs.
At the end of the year, we make a tally of how many dogs we've had to kill in video games, and then we atone for it by going out and just throwing dog treats around parks.
Gotta be honest, I didn't regret killing dogs in Resident Evil or in Call of Duty when they were biting my face off.
Well, it's when it's a zombie dog, there's an exception. It's already dead. But in The Last of Us, poor puppy.
Still have yet to get through those games. I have to lose a bet to play those games or something.
Yeah, this is only the second time that I've had this, and I actually really do like it. Of all of the crazy American crap that gets produced and shipped over here, this is actually just this is what it counts as a...
Is that a squat bottle, or is it just my perspective? Okay.
No, it's a squat bottle.
Mike, you actually would like part 2, probably, if you're like, killing dogs, is... If you kill the handler, the dog kind of loses like its owner, and so it kind of mopes. I don't like killing dogs. It mopes around. It mopes around, and it's a strategy. It's a strategy. If you kill the handler, the dog can't find its owner, and then it gets sad and it mopes around, and they can kill it while it's like waiting.
But I always save the dog in RE4. Always.
I think we all do.
Right, let's move on. Let's pick some games and see who wins. Mitch, there's a conspicuous lack of Bethesda titles on your selection list, which I'm really quite disappointed in.
Oh, really? I'm sorry to hear that. They're such great video games. Exactly,
that's what we want to hear. Right, so let's probably bring the stream up. Because it's me and I'm an overcomplicated bastard. It wasn't just a case of let's pick some games. I came up with rules for rounds. So round 1, there's 3 picks in that round, which is all platform holder exclusives. And I asked people to pick a platform holder exclusive for Microsoft, by which I mean Xbox, but if it's coming to Game Pass and you can play it on PC, it still counts. PlayStation and Nintendo. Now, if people select the same game, there is a sliding scale of points deduction unless they designate that game as one of their keeper picks, and in which case they get the whole score no matter how many people also select it. So, Mikey, do you want to announce your picks, and then I'll go through the guys?
Round 1, do you want me to go all 3, or just go by Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo?
It doesn't matter because they're both the same thing.
Well, why don't you just for the draft to make it look nicer in regards to the board?
I meant, do I just do Microsoft and then you do everyone else's Microsoft and do it?
No, you do your 3 and then I'll do everyone else's 3.
But why don't you go Microsoft first?
Yep.
Just because I want to make the board look good.
So Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo.
Yes, but give me 1 second to type it in.
That is the order of importance as well when it comes to gaming globally.
Gaming!
14. And the AAA gaming industry.
Sony. And then finally we have 14. Okay. And then
we've got a couple of people who didn't read the rules properly, so they're going to miss out.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't my job to correct them.
All right, Mike.
All right. My first pick for Microsoft, my Microsoft/PC exclusive, is Warhammer 40K Darktide.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Warhammer. What was it? Warhammer what?
40K.
Okay, I'm just gonna do 40K Warhammer.
Here, as I say these, I'll message them over to you.
No, it's okay. I already typed it, so you're good. Okay. Don't worry about it. I'll just condense it because that title's way too long.
All right.
So wait for some of the other ones.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
My Sony pick and my keeper is God of War Ragnarok.
God of War 2. Okay. Nintendo?
Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
Advance Wars 1+2.
Right.
Yes,
So
people I can't spell, but I'll fix it.
well, it's function F7 or Shift F7, depending on what keyboard you're using.
No, it's okay. It's already fixed.
Right. So Erebus Jones, for his Microsoft exclusive, he selected Deathloop, which I told him he couldn't have. So he then selected Warhammer 40k Darktide.
Maggots.
For his Sony pick and his Keeper pick, he selected God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, I should probably label these Keeper.
Just put KP next to it, like the nuts. And his Nintendo pick was Advanced Wars 1+2.
I knew he was going to pick it.
Reboot Camp.
What the heck?
1+2. All right. What Burkoff pick?
So Burkoff selected his Microsoft pick. Warhammer 40k. No, he didn't.
Oh my gosh!
I started typing it.
I was gonna table flip.
Starfield.
Okay.
Which, Mitch? What do you think Starfield's going to be?
Well, Bethesda makes great video games. They may be buggy, but they make great video games. So I do expect it to be buggy.
I just expect it to look nicer than the crap they were putting out with Fallout 76.
One can hope.
And we can't look
I
worse,
have faith. I have faith.
For his Sony selection, Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
You didn't do that as a keeper?
He's not put a keeper down. He didn't read the rules.
Question. If someone else had picked in, like, say examples, like someone else picked it as their keeper, does he share the score because someone else picked it?
Nope.
Or because it was a keep? Well, no.
Because they get the score, but he gets a deduction.
He does get the deduction. Okay.
Yes.
That was my question.
Yeah. And
Horizon.
For his Nintendo pick, he took Pokemon Legends Arceus. Our keys are missing.
Pokemon Legends.
I think it'll be missing as many points off as they are from 30 FPS.
How do you spell Arceus?
Arceus.
Thank you.
Or shit graphics. Right.
Dan
went with Starfield.
Wow, these guys had a horrible strategy. Like, wait till you get to my picks. Like,
then he went with God of War Ragnarok.
Not a keeper.
No, Dan also didn't read the rules.
Oh, jeez.
Yay! Wins by technicalities.
You can throw a challenge flag, but it won't go anywhere. And for his Nintendo pick, he picked Link breathing on Zelda in the Wilderness 2.
Yep.
Wild breaths can't be broken.
Okay.
So if we got next, Michael, aka Rafa, for his Microsoft pick.
Sorry. Congratulations to Rafa for winning the Australian Open as well.
Yes, not the same Rafa.
Not the same Rafa. It would be great if it was.
One Spanish, ours is Romanian.
Okay. Sorry, what was his pick?
Stalker 2.
Oh, jeez. ALK. Oh, he thinks.
And well done for doing it all as capitalized.
He thinks he's gonna. The NFTs ain't going to kill this game.
I was trying to explain to my friend yesterday in the pub what NFTs were, and it's just struggled to
NFTs is like trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Right. For Sony, he went with Gran Turismo. 7.
Oh, how do you spell Turismo?
TURISMO.
And then what is it? 7?
Yes.
Okay.
7 too many. And for his Nintendo title, he went with Mario plus Rabbids: The Spark of Hope.
I'm surprised Dan didn't pick that.
And Michael also didn't include any keepers. Tisk tisk.
Yikesies. The Rabbids are spelled double B, right? R-A-B-B.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So Liam's first selection, and his keeper pick is Starfield.
Nah,
interesting.
It's not a good keeper. I love that.
So just reconfirming. Say 3 people chose Starfield. One of them chose it as a keeper. The other the other two would still only get a 50% points. Correct?
Yes.
Or is it 75? I mean 25. I mean 1/3 because 3 people picked it.
Yeah. Well, it would be however many people minus
sliding scale.
So it's a sliding scale.
Yep.
His Sony pick was Gran Turismo 7.
Aha, suckers. Sorry, my pick's coming up and it's going to throw everyone for a tizzy.
And for his Nintendo selection, he went with Pokemon Legends. Arceus.
Yeah. You guys aren't playing the game. Jesus.
I'm trying to play the game.
No.
I had 15 minutes.
But you still aren't playing the game, bro. Like, what? Get ready for this. All right, what are mine? Ready for this?
Right. So, Mitch, your Nintendo selection was...
Wait, Nintendo?
Microsoft selection. Redfall?
Yes.
Because he was going for something. He was going for something.
No one was going to pick.
Decently high that no one would pick.
And also, it's Arcane. They're all going to there's a love relation with Arcane somehow. So
to be honest, also, I thought Dark Tide was a dark horse pick like that. I didn't think anyone else was going to pick.
Come on, it's Erebus Joe's, bro. Yeah. But the other thing was he
paints those figures for fun.
Everyone was gushing.
I forgot that.
Everyone was gushing over that trailer. So like, how am I not going to?
I wasn't.
That? I know you weren't, but the journalists were. The journalists were gushing.
It kind of shows you the world and the setting, but without seeing what I'm going to do in it and how it plays, what's the damn point? Right, moving on before I start ranting about stuff. Mitch, you then selected for Sony Horizon Forbidden West, which was your keeper pick.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised only one other person picked it. But
there.
So, Mikey, in this instance, 2 people picked it. I need to figure out what the proportion of that would be against the 7 overalls. So, Matt would get, for instance, I can't do that kind of maths in my head. That's why God invented calculators.
New or old maths.
And Mitch then went for Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, how no one picked this one? God damn.
Because I still am not convinced it's coming out.
They've confirmed that
it is. They confirmed it is.
Come hell or high water.
It's coming out this year.
They said hell or high water?
No.
Did I spell Bayonetta right?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, again, why did no one pick this game? Like, I had a feeling no one was going to pick it because everyone was gushing over Horizon and Pokemon.
Horizon is Sony and Pokemon.
Oh, no, sorry, not Horizon. Breath of the Wild.
You notice I did not pick Breath of the Wild. I
know, but I knew Erebus Jones was going to pick Advanced Wars because you went crazy over that game earlier this year. And then I was shocked Rafa picked Mario Rabbids too. I thought that would be a Dan pick, but still,
wait until one of Michael's next ones. I appreciate it.
Well, anyway, again, the guys need to play the game. The game is you don't want the same game as someone else. like that's the point. You still want a high score, but you want something that no one else has, unless you're doing your keeper, which I knew Horizon people were going to pick, so that's why I picked it as my keeper. Yeah. But Bayonetta 3 9s every time. Like Redfall, it's probably going to get a high 8, but it's going to get me more points than all the people that have Starfield and Warhammer.
I wouldn't be surprised if Redfall got like a 7-9 or 7-8.
Still more than what the others got, because you have to split it 50-50. You get 40 points.
Yep.
Play the game. All right. What's the second round? Keith, what is the second round?
The second round is called What's in a Name, which is the...
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Internet somehow completely dropped. Yes, we are back. Stream popped back up. So, sorry, guys. We completely dropped off. Internet went really funky for a quick second. I don't know if it was booting or something, but we are good. So, what was Keith, the second round? What is that?
So I've only been on for 14 seconds.
We've been on for 40 seconds now. Don't worry. I got this. I'm managing it.
I got it. Right, so...
You give me tech responsibilities, and then you're contradicting my tech responsibility.
It was just taking a while for my app to refresh to show me that it was on.
Oh, well...
Deal with it. I'm sure you'll be all right. Right, so the next round, for those who missed it, is What's in a Name, where I challenge them to pick the most stupid, nonsensical name of video games that are going to come out, and they will get additional points for me arbitrarily choosing which one is the most stupid and nonsensical.
Are you picking the stupid name today?
No.
Oh.
Right, so Mikey, what was your...
Stupid name game?
My dumbest name is Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. With an honorable mention, I am Jesus Christ.
Is that a game, or are you just saying that you are him incarnate?
I have no idea. It's a game coming out for PC sometime in September.
That is a stupid and nonsensical name, but
despite my personal affiliations and beliefs, that is a terrible and dumb name for a video game.
Well, and Stranger of Paradise is probably going to be a stupid and nonsensical game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
with a stupid and nonsensical title.
That's my actual pick. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin.
Yeah, right, so Erebus Jones went for Triangle Strategy, which is also a stupid, nonsensical name.
Because what is a triangle strategy?
It's not like they're playing 4D chess. Right,
some sort of Pythagorean bullshit.
Matt also went for Stranger of Paradise. Final Fantasy.
Oh my
rubbish.
God. I did not spell. I forgot the R in Stranger.
It doesn't matter. It's probably chaos showed up, and you tried to kill it, and you missed an R.
Paradise. Final Fantasy. Okay. Dan.
Dan went for Dordogne.
How do you spell that?
Dordogne.
Dogne?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's one word. It's also a region in France.
Is it two capitals or no?
No, it's just one word. So no.
Okay.
Other capital D. Michael, can he continue?
Is there any turnips in this title?
No. So the game that he chose is Yurikill, the culmination game.
How do you spell that?
Is that with a Y or a U?
Y-U-R-U, kill. The culmination game. Oh, sorry, the culmination game. C-A-L-U-M-N-I-A-T-I-O-N.
Huh.
Okay.
I'm just going to say, huh.
It's just a weird title, not necessarily a bad name.
Knowing nothing about the game, it's hard to say whether it's a bad.
And this is why I haven't scored them, so I'm going to have to look them up. Liam went for Ridiculous Catapult Simulator.
Oh my god.
That actually like gives me all I need to know about the game.
Ridiculous.
That's a dumb name at all.
Catapult Simulator. I can't spell. Ridiculous catapult. Oh, mine's better than all of these. You're gonna love the trailer for it, Keith, if you haven't watched it yet.
No, I haven't. So Mitch picked Choo Choo Charles.
It sounds like one of the children's shows that my daughter bumbles into when we leave the YouTube unattended.
Let's just say there's a killer choo-choo train trying to kill you, and it looks like Thomas the Train. So you're wandering around an open world trying to build your own train to get away, and here comes Choo-Choo Charles with some knives and forks and trying to stab at you. I found it hilarious.
Right, so Mikey. So the next round 3 is sports games, where I challenged people to pick one AAA sports franchise and then an indie sports franchise.
Okay.
With the next 2 picks. So Mikey.
My AAA is Blood Bowl 3.
Ooh.
Was that the indie or the AAA?
That's the AAA.
No.
Why do I feel like I would count that as an indie, but...
It's at least 2.5 A's.
But it has to be AAA.
I think it does count as AAA.
Keith?
I'm going to look up the developer because someone else has picked that as their indie title.
Oh.
So we might have to have a judge's ruling at some point on this one. We'll record them at the moment.
Well, it really just depends on who's publishing it.
Well,
publisher.
Let me look it up. What's the game called?
Blood Bowl 3.
Blood Bowl 3.
Blood Bowl 3 is being created by Wikipedia. Here we go.
Cyanide.
Focus Home Interactive. Developer
it's by Cyanide.
By Cyanide is the developer, but the publisher is not a AAA publisher. Focus Home Entertainment. That's indie.
That's not indie. Indie means independent.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess like yes, it's your full call or whatever on what actually the definition of independent is, because technically The Witcher is independent.
Yes.
It's an indie game, but
with a massive amount of money behind it.
No, wasn't it published by Warner Brothers Interactive? Internationally, it was published by Warner Brothers.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, at least in a bunch of countries, CD Projekt Red themselves published it. So like they made it, they published it. So that technically is an indie game, but
because they're not owned by anything else.
Correct. So it's up to
do you know what? Just for shits and giggles, I'll allow both.
All right.
I'll allow it as both a AAA and indie.
This just got spicy. And then my indie game was Ollie Ollie World.
So
Blood Bowl 3.
I didn't know we were doing both rounds at the same time.
Yeah. And then Ollie Ollie World.
Bloodborne 3.
And Ollie. O-L-I. Is it O-L-I-E for Ollie?
Double L. Double L-I-E.
O-L-L-I World.
I thought it had an E on it.
Well, Ollie, like for the skateboard trick, does have an E at the end, but the name of the game is just with an I. Ollie,
I wonder if the kid's name is Ollie.
Right, so Erebus Jones went for Football Manager 23, safe bet. And that's rest of the world football, not American football.
And then it's indie.
Blood Bowl 3.
Of course, it's the two guys that pick Warhammer is the ones that duke it out for.
Well, we're not duking it out because it's different categories.
Yeah.
AAA versus indie.
Yeah, but you're duking it out over what is indie and what is AAA.
Fair enough.
And I don't care enough to get into that fight. So Matt went for Madden 23.
As is indie?
Yes. And for his indie, he went for Ollie Ollie World.
Oh no,
okay.
you're gonna have to split the points.
Damn, man, I'm too much on the pulse, but not enough off pulse.
You gotta be off the grid, man. You gotta be off the grid.
So Dan went for Madden 23.
Oh, why, Dan? Why? Everyone's picking Madden. It comes out every year.
And then he went for Sports Story.
Oh,
Ooh, good pick.
I bet Rafa's doing Sports Story in hopes that it appears.
Well, Rafa has been quite coy on this one, on his first one. Anyway, so his AAA one is Shredders.
Yeah, I almost picked that one.
SHRE.
DDERS.
Okay.
And for his indie pick, and this will be the year, Sports Story.
Watch it get announced tomorrow that it's going to be delayed into next year. Liam,
and I will allow this, and there won't be any arguing. WWE 2K22.
Okay. Is this AAA?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why it wouldn't be considered. It's published by EA.
It's sports. It's sports entertainment.
Yeah.
So
I count it as. Oh, I guess it's kind of not a sport, but I get it.
Gotcha.
I respect it. I respect the choice.
And for his indie, he went for Ollie Ollie World.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Popular game.
Well, it's no longer popular because they're gonna only get like 20 points off of it.
Ooh.
All
right, let's go. Me. What did I pick?
Better than no points.
Mitch went for Dragon Ball Breakers. No, he didn't.
No, I didn't.
He went for EA Sports PGA Tour. I didn't even realize EA was still making golf games.
This is the first golf game in like 4 years, so I thought, hey, it's probably going to get some high scores because it's new.
Got a lot of competition from golf friends.
EA Sports what?
It's got a lot of competition from
PGA
golf
Tour.
friends.
Oh, PGA Tour. Okay, and what was my indie?
And then your indie one, you went Cursed to Golf. You were feeling like you need to get some slacks and a rather ugly shirt, maybe a polo, a visor, and get your clubs out on the green.
Well, I was like, it was for that one. I picked. It's really interesting though. If you have not seen what it looks like, it's literally it's a platformer, like a classic Mario platformer, where it's horizontal in regards to like going from side to side. But that's how you golf. You have to golf that way. So I was like, okay, it like mixes the genres up a little bit. Hey, if it gets a little bit of low scores, at least I didn't pick Sports Story like everyone else, or in this case, Ollie Ollie World. So, you know, again, pick what people aren't going to pick, and you get the full points.
Right. So the next round floor is the triple bland round. So I've challenged the people to pick the lowest scoring AAA game that will come out this year, and the scores will be inverted. So the person who gets the lowest score will then get the score of the highest, so it inflates their score at the end, and then so on down the line. There's been some really diverse set of picks on this one.
All right, let's go.
Right, so
got,
Mikey,
Mike? What do you got?
My lowest AAA will be Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
I love that pick.
Sorry, Avatar. What is it called? The Frontiers.
Frontiers of Pandora.
Is it the or just Frontiers?
Just Frontiers. No.
Okay.
I also really like Erebus Jones's pick of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Ooh, that's actually a good pick. Like, I want it to do well, but I very much could see it not.
I mean, I think it won't do well, but I don't think it's going to be the worst scoring of them.
Matt went for Elix 2.
How do you spell that? E-L-I-X?
E-L-E-X.
I never even heard of it.
Neither have I, but I trust Matt's not cheating. Dan has come out with a blinder of Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires.
I thought about that. But it came out in Japan already, so I assumed it didn't count.
Has it?
Yes, it already has a score.
Did it have a score by... what date did it have a score?
I don't remember. I just remember I was looking it up for a different fantasy league, and it already had a score for in Japan specifically. It doesn't have one in the US.
If it has a score on Metacritic, I will just check now. Mitch is playing the game trying to get Dan's picks thrown out.
I mean, he didn't take a keeper, so he's already gonna lose.
Okay, it does. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empire. Okay, it can't be that one because that came out in 2018.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if it's an expansion, is Empires, and it's not a full-fledged game because they already came out with a Dynasty Warriors 9. It's that one I just didn't even want to try because I couldn't argue it. I didn't know what to put.
It's slated for 2022 and doesn't have a score.
Okay.
So well done, Dan, for doing your research. Mitch, better luck next time on trying to get his games thrown out.
Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. Okay. No worries.
Michael went for Babylon's Fall. Platinum game. Might not be as crap as the people were thinking.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that crappy. Liam.
Babylon's Fall.
Oh, no. Now it's really not worth it.
And Mitch, you went for Dragon Ball The Breakers.
Yes, it looks so bad. Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Breakers. Jesus Christ, who came up with the title?
Do you know what that game even is?
No, and I don't care to.
Here you go.
I care nothing of Dragon Ball.
Here you go. It's
25 minutes of people gurning.
You ready for
about power levels?
You ready for how bad this game is? It's so bad that basically the game is, it's basically like you are one plays the villain and the rest are heroes, but you have to hide from the villain. It's like it's a survival, like it's similar to what's that one called? Friday the 13th. It's like Dragon Ball Z Friday the 13th.
What?
Yeah, and so like there's stealth mechanics and it looks so bad. I was like, I have to pick this. It's gonna get like 4s.
Right. Okay. So next, picks 5 and 6 were free picks where people could pick whatever they want, and there's no point sharing on free picks.
Yep.
Free picks. And I'm free from sharing
free.
The points.
Free balling.
Well, I was going to go, I'm free to do what I want any old time. I'm free to do what I want any old time. Right, Mikey, your first free pick. What was it?
Should he list them both, just so he doesn't...
Yes.
So please list both free picks.
All right, Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring.
And if you've eaten too much chili, you might end up with some Elden Ring sting.
Better than Bruce Springsteen.
All right. What did Erebus Jones pick?
He went for the same games, but in the different order.
Elden Ring.
So he went for Elden Ring and then Horizon Forbidden West.
Which doesn't matter because you don't share.
It always matters.
And Burkoff?
Okay, so where are we? He went for Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring might be a bit popular in this round.
Well, it's because it couldn't fit into any other category.
And then Guild Wars 2, End of Dragons.
Oh, is that an expansion?
I don't know what people have got against dragons.
What is it called? End of Dragons?
Yep.
Yes.
They're getting rid of them.
No, they ate my lunch money, so...
So Dan went for Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring. Michael went for Horizon Forbidden West.
Hold on.
And Elden Ring.
Oh my god. Okay.
Liam went for Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok.
All right, fine.
Elden Ring and God of War. And what were mine?
You went for Zelda Breath of the Wild 2.
And
Horizon Forbidden West.
no, I didn't.
Oh, no, you God of War Ragnarok.
Okay. I was like, I did not pick the same game twice. I feel like you would have told me that too. I'm being like, Mitch.
Fire upon the cuckold.
What are you trying to do, Willis? You're already trying to get me busted on this?
What are you talking about, Willis?
Oh.
I don't know the reference.
Round 7. What was round 7?
Round 7 is the Game of the Year picks. So, of the selections that the people have already made, what do they think is going to be Game of the Year? And if that wins, you get double the score.
Doesn't you get points if it gets nominated?
Yeah, so you get 50 points if it gets nominated, and if it wins Game of the Year, you get the same score as the review score.
Yeah.
All right. What is Mike's Game of the Year?
God of War Ragnarok.
Erebus Jones?
He went with God of War.
Burkoff.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, this one, unfortunately, do you split points on this one?
No.
Okay. I was like, unfortunately, like, people are going to pick similar games. All right. Dan.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Rafa.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Ooh.
Liam.
Okay, so how many rounds have we got left after this? Is it 2?
2.
I can't believe he's done this, but he went with Starfield.
Oh my god. I mean, it might get nominated, but I don't think it'll win.
And Mitch, you went for Horizon Forbidden West.
Yep. I think it's going to be, so far, even the previews have said it's a step up from the last game, and if it's a step up from the last game, God of War is not going to be that. It's how do you top God of War? That's hard.
Yeah.
You top God of War. You top God of War by making the mini bosses different.
Nah.
Rather than 9 different trolls.
No, that's not
enough. That was my only complaint. That was my only complaint about that game.
Mitch will hear nothing bad said about that game. I think Mitch would only like the game more.
Defy me to I defy you. I defy you to tell me that wasn't a spot that could have been improved.
I think that the thing for Mitch, in his defense, is that game could have only been better if it was made by Bethesda.
Correct.
Right, so the last 2 rounds are alternates or substitute picks. So people can sub in their alternate or substitute games at any point, but they cannot have a review score to be subbed in. So if a game is going to get delayed out of the year, or you've got one game that you don't think has scored highly enough, you can bring in one of your substitutes, but your substitute game must not have a score to be subbed in.
So for clarification, just so also the viewers get it. So like say Horizon comes out. I have another game I want to swap it for because I'm nervous.
So crazy thing happens. Horizon gets a 72.
So like if Horizon gets a score, I can still switch it with my alternate as long as my alternate has not come out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So the game can already have gotten a score, but your sub cannot have gotten a score.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. What if your game is delayed out of the year? So like here we're on December 1st.
I will use my linguistic skills to articulate that sort of tough shit.
Okay, all right. I'm all right with that.
So if you're alternate,
so
so basically alternates, like you want to pick them to be fall games so that you don't have to worry about them leaving the year, so that you can take the games that do lose at the end of the year and pop them in.
Okay. Exactly. Mitch is caught and done.
All right.
Strategy.
Right, so Mikey, your 2 subs.
My subs are Lego Skywalker Saga.
Oh my god. Well, unfortunate for you.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that timing part.
Well, you did only have 15 minutes to comprehend the rules.
Yes. And Breath of the Wild Part Deux.
Is that the French version of the game coming up?
Yes, it is.
Pas deux.
Pas deux.
Right, so Erebus Jones has gone for Baldur's Gate.
Now I was waffling on that one.
Is it BAL or is it BOU?
BAUL.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate. Okay.
And Company of Heroes 3.
Ooh.
What the fudge? Not going to justify any of those picks, but okay.
And Baldur's Gate might be a good one. Matt has gone for King of Fighters 15.
That one comes out in the spring. Oh.
And Triangle Strategy.
No, that also comes out in the spring.
I don't know if there was some collusion going on between 2 of the British entrants of this particular competition, because Dan has gone with Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga.
Oh. Okay.
And Company of Heroes 3.
Maybe they were discussing their picks together?
I doubt it. I think they just love a bit of being in the company of some heroes.
3 times over.
Exactly. You need 3 heroes for it to be a triangle, and that's where the strategy comes in.
And
So Michael has gone for Starfield. Good pick. Because that's not out until November.
Mm-hmm.
And Zelda Breathes Wildly.
I get the strategy, but at the same time, it's like you would. Nah, I'll talk about it later.
Right, so Liam went for Elden Ring.
Oh god, you better switch that one out real quick.
Hoot sweet.
Oh, and Hogwarts Legacy because he desperately wants that game to come out.
Hogwarts. Oh, it's hog, not hog. Oh, damn it, Mitch. Why did I spell it as hog, not hog? And what were mine?
Mitch, your 2 subs were Starfield, so I don't know why you were giving Michael shit when you picked it yourself.
No, it's not that one. It's Breath of the Wild 2 is the one I'm giving him shit for.
Okay. And Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
I think Mario Rabbids is coming out in the fall, so it's or a late summer game at least. Mario Rabbids 2, I think I labeled it as before. Yes. No, I don't give Rafa crap for Starfield. I thought it was a smart strategy because it's no matter what it is coming out. So if any of my games get delayed, I just instantly pop in Starfield. No, it's putting Breath of the Wild 2 as your alternate, man. Like, dude, like, you basically by what you have to do is now you have to sacrifice one of the games you feel confident in to put in your alternate, when you could just put it in and then had a backup that you were confident in that you could put in later if you needed to. So like he could lose out on you could lose out on Breath of the Wild 2 if it comes out by sacrificing a game that he may feel confident in. That's the strategy that I don't understand.
I would swap Breath of the Wild 2 for Rabbids.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why he didn't do that. It made no sense.
I also don't know why 3 of the entrants didn't read the rules and think that they had to declare keepers.
Well, and also read the rules and put games in there coming in the spring that they can't automatically replace with. Because
that wasn't written in the rules. That was implicit. And only certain people actually picked up on the implicit nature of what that was there for.
Yeah.
So you want games that are coming out in October, November, December.
Yeah. Which I think, at least for Breath of the Wild, if it does come out this year, it will be a later in the year game.
That comes with a risk too, because if games are too close to the end of the year, there's always that temptation just to nudge it into 2023, but still come out in Q4.
Yep. I understand.
Back up. Sorry, I'm just making this look a little more prettier.
Can it possibly be?
Yeah, because I already found some misspellings.
It doesn't matter anyway. People know what it is. We don't need big to. In English, you don't actually have to be able to spell stuff correctly for people to understand.
Well, also I don't like the. It's telling me to delete the repeated word in Ollie Ollie World. No, I don't like the red lines on it. It makes it look not as nice. So I'm just trying to get this to look good. So when we end the stream, this thing looks really, really pretty.
Dumbanelu.
Ignore all. Just gotta do it to the names. Ignore. And Mike's Q. Ignore. There we go. There is our board, gentlemen. It's a pretty, pretty board.
Right.
Thank you.
What I will do is if we can share this.
Well, I can screen grab this and just send it to the crew.
Extra points will be awarded if you can correctly pick the order in which people will finish.
Ooh.
There's so many people I gotta spend time with this one. I know I'm on top. I know I'm gonna win. Like, come on.
And that will follow the F1 scoring table as well.
I'm like one of the only ones that doesn't have a repeat game. I think I'm the only one that doesn't have a repeat game somewhere in regards to sharing points or anything like that. So automatically I keep all my points. Because you all, and I'm talking to everyone else who watches that is part of our Discord and part of this podcast, y'all didn't play by the rules, which is...
No, we played by the rules. We just didn't necessarily play by the strategy.
You didn't play the game.
The game of the game.
Seriously. Keith works hard on these so we play the game, and you haven't played the game, fellas, and you keep losing. Stop losing.
Said the man who lost last year and now must praise Bethesda for 11 more calendar months.
The Game of the Game Awards is the one that really matters. Let's be honest, Keith. We all love the Game of the Game Awards. So that's the one I've won on a repeated basis.
Yeah, I can't believe I've finished last. I need to buck my ideas up. Since I come up with a bloody idea,
I will say, Keith, you can tell already that your Game of the Year one, I don't know if your strategy necessarily worked on that one because everyone ended up picking the same type of games. So I don't know if you'll do that one next year.
However, it is a good way for people to pick up additional points if they lose out early on.
That's true. The only way you would be like, it's worth it is if Liam wins with Starfield. Then you'll be worth it.
Not every category can be cutthroat and obtuse.
Well, I think I
see that as a challenge.
I think you're Keith. I think I love more your lowest AAA game category is my absolute favorite.
That one is good. I like that one. I saw that one. I'm like, ooh, I get behind this one.
Keith, just go watch Dragon Ball Breakers and tell me that that's not going to be the worst scored game in the industry of the AAAs.
I don't even know if I want to subject my eyes to it after what you said it was.
And by the way, I did message you ahead of time and said if I was going to message you ahead of time saying, is Bandai Namco counted as AAA? And because it's technically done by, and I was like, I think it does.
Is it I can remember, is it Namco Bandai now? Or they changed it around again?
They change it so many times I forget.
Who cares? I haven't made a game I've cared about in years.
So everyone else that listens to this podcast or watches it, this one is probably one you want to watch because then you can actually see the board. That we have a board in front of us for our audio listeners. So if you go to YouTube and find us at Pixel Pints, or go to the archive on Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Pixel Pints, you can actually see the board. And I'd love to hear people's opinions on who had the best draft in regards to the rule sets that we have going on here, because this is going to be fun.
Yeah, and next time, make sure you read the rules, Matt, Dan, and Rafa.
And on that note, read the rules.
Always read the rules.
Even if you plan to disobey them, know what you're disobeying.
Right. Mitch, can you either take a screen grab of that?
Oh yeah, I'll screen grab the whole thing.
Can you also send me the table?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd want to post that on